Mande katika bola super. Ah,
383 in the over. boundary. Think
সাউন্ড
something, but
আছে
he's all right
কিন্তু
for the
কম।
moment. Much better. Much better. That's the length. It is important. From 12 to 4, already 91 not out. Hardly put a foot down, which is in a wrong side. He's been solid. Still play well. To his 90s, it's very important for him. In fact, for Bangladesh also. Best side that he converts. This test match actually worth quite a bit as far as Bangladesh cricket is concerned. In solid defense. Is that solitary boundary in this over? 137 for 1. They've laid the foundations. Anamul and Shadman, and importantly for Bangladesh, Shadman still there, joined by the experienced Mominul. What he does really well, usually just closes down one end. Let the bowler merit and make sure that he bats a longer period and get the other batsman to play the natural game. I think this is an ideal combination. Shadman with 91. It's the best at. Very important that Shadman, Bangladesh, to get a good lead in the first innings. He continues because he has done the hard work. You're rightly pointed. I think both their features, their attributes, and at this stage, Shadman are enabling both of them to play their natural game. Shadman playing some strokes. Momin, on the other hand, is allowed to be composed. There's no rush. Sweep now. Single to end the over. Bangladesh 138 for 1. The deficit has been reduced. It's 89 now. Lagging behind just 89 runs are Bangladesh. Zimbabwe looking for wickets. They want to break through as soon as possible. A long spell for Muzarbani after lunch. 6 overs. Replaced by Richard Ngarawa. Expensive in his first spell. 25 runs in his 5 overs. I thought the lengths were quite short. I think now looking at the field for the left-handers, there's 5 fielders in the leg side. The line has to be straight or probably midland leg line. The leg gully is quite square, a short mid-wicket, both catching positions, a mid-on, Deep square leg in front of square and a deep fine leg. Probably the light line and the light length as well. And Garava this morning initially opened from the other end. Which is the Dutch Bangla Bank end. To let you know, Dutch Bangla Bank is the first European joint venture bank in Bangladesh. And a pioneer in the banking sector in terms of customer trust and confidence through transparent and pure banking. I think the batters seem comfortable as of now, but also goes on to emphasize the fact that the Bangladesh spinners were actually really good. Look at spinners around the world who's been successful in their own practice. One example comes to my mind straight away is Ranganahera. Plenty of wickets. In Gaul, used the drift for a good advantage. Exactly what Taijul and Medias and Miraj, for certain extent, Naim Hassan as well. Something for Zimbabwe to work going forward. They play especially in conditions where it's helpful. Spinners is the use a drift for a little while. Ritan Masagadza, I think he tried it. Even the leg spinner, young man playing his first test match, just not turn and bounce. Take a look at that for a difference, Shamnoy. 1.1 to 0.5. Emphasis should be given on drift, something for the spinners of Zimbabwe in the future to work and be good at and be dangerous at as well. It's a maiden from Ngarava. 138 for 1. Was around this period on day one where Zimbabwe did not lose a single wicket. Leslie Matavere previously rushed through the over, taking a bit of time to get on, and then batter said that he wasn't ready. Short, he'll find the gap in front of square through deep extra cover. Will get another Nexus Bay boundary. Shadman, it's his 16th boundary, beg your pardon, 15th boundary, and he moves on to 95. Just set up nicely for Shadman. Pull it quicker, shorter. He says. Nicely Madawere, Shadman Islam, excelled with open arms. Perfectly placed, nicely timed. The previous over, Mr. Madhavere, he countered, he bowled his over in 90 seconds. Just likes to get through the overs. The mentality of a bowler who plays a lot of white ball cricket. The pitch is not offering that much for a spinner. Sometimes not a bad ploy to do to get through the overs, keep up the over rate maintained properly. Well played. It's a good stop. Point region, definitely saving some more runs. I certainly saved 3 runs there. The 12th man, Campbell, was in for Muzerbani. He's off the field after his spell. Valiant attempt. What you'll want to see from your 12th man comes to commitment out in the middle. 196 Shadman. Cool as a cucumber, isn't he? It's hot, it's humid, but he's just making sure that he's concentrating hard, especially in the 90s. Yeah, straight to that field at cover. 6 runs of this one, 144 for 1. Shadman Islam was just 4 runs away from getting his second test century. And Garava will continue from the rocket end. Mentioned the drift, the importance of it, and somebody like Rangana Herath used it to his advantage, and he was the spin bowling coach for Bangladesh. He's been involved with the likes of Media Samiraz and Naim Hassan and Tajul Islams for a bit. For this particular test series, it's Sohail Islam, so hugely respected by the Bangladesh cricketers, cricket fraternity itself. So he'd be a happy man with the performance of the spinners in the first innings. Nicely forward, gets the gap. Glorious drive by Shadman to get to his second test century. Superb knock by Shadman Islam. Pick above, young man. That was a solid knock. Full of class, full of grit. Under pressure coming into this test match after 2 failures up in Sylhet. And he made sure he had a good start, and now carrying on, getting his second 100 in his test career. And joins Imrul Kais and Tamim Iqbal. Tamim Iqbal got 10 hundreds as an opener. And Imrul Kais got 2 and 3 left-handers, and what an elegant player Shadman Islam is. Rightly appreciated by the crowd, his teammates. Wonderful knock so far. Deserves all the applause. The Shadman goes gone past 1,000 runs in test match career. Second 100, second against Zimbabwe. Particularly when you've 2 half centuries, and one of them being a 93 in Rawalpindi versus Pakistan, it's very important mentally also that you convert. It's where the good can be separated from the greats. Once you get a good start, once you get into a half century, a start, go and get a big one. Mentioned in the first test as well, batsman will go through a bad patch or some sort of a drought where no runs been made. But you make sure when you're in good form that you carry on with it. Almost like having money in your savings. That's what I like about Shadman Islam, the man on a mission. And see from his eyes how hard he concentrates. And good numbers. 200s against Zimbabwe, Pakistan, very good pace attack. West Indies as well. Sabina Park in Jamaica can be a bit tricky with pace and bounce. And with the Duke ball can be challenging. So he has made runs around the world. He's got what it takes to be a good test opener. Just like the fact that he's concentrating hard, trying to make sure that he converts this for a big one. 150 out for Bangladesh. I think that's where the patience of the team management, the selectors, that also comes in. In this day and age, go through a rough patch and everyone's on to you. Very important. Relevant people keep their faith on you. Finally, again, Shadman paid it off with a century. Down the leg. 6 runs of the Sengurava over. Bangladesh 150 for 1. And it's time for the players to hydrate.
স্টেডিয়ামে উপস্থিত সকল দর্শকদের মনোযোগ আকর্ষণ করছি। আইসিসি বর্ণ বৈষম্য আইনি ধারা সম্পর্কে আপনাদের অবহিত করা হচ্ছে। দর্শকগণ কোনো খেলোয়াড়, আম্পায়ার, রেফারি, কোনো কর্মকর্তা
যেই নিয়তে যাচ্ছি সেই নিয়ত যেন পূরণ হয় বাবা।
আমাদের সব পরিবারেই হজ নিয়ে একটা গল্প আছে। এক এক পরিবার এক এক রকম আবেগের গল্প। নূর মোহাম্মদের গল্পটা 2 বিপরীত আবেগের ভারে নেমে আছে আজকে। মাকে হজে পাঠাতে পারছে বলে আল্লাহর কাছে হাজার শুকর তার। কিন্তু যে মা দিনাজপুর শহরের রাস্তায় ঠিক মতো চেনে না, সে মা কিভাবে হজ শেষ করে সহি সালামতে ফিরে আসবে, এই চিন্তায় সে খুবই উৎকণ্ঠিত। আপনি মক্কায় পৌঁছায় মোয়াল্লেম মামার ফোন থেকে আমার একটা কল দিয়েন, কিন্তু আর আপনি সবসময় ওনার আশেপাশেই থাকেন যেন আমি আপনার খোঁজ খবর নিতে পারি।
চিন্তা করিস না, পবিত্র হজের ময়দান থেকে ফিরে আসবো আর আল্লাহ যেন ফিরে আমাকে নিয়ে যায়। আলহামদুলিল্লাহ, তাহলে তোর সাথে দেখা হবে বাবা হাসরের ময়দানে।
পবিত্র হজ পালনের উদ্দেশ্যে সৌদি আরবে
But
নয়শো
what has impressed me is the bowling of Blessing Muzrabani. Not too much of help from the wicket per se. But he's been a fighter. Craig Irwin will be pretty happy if he can get one of his club strikers to get amongst the wickets. Shadman on strike. Kept it that low. Now we're talking about the change of nature of the wicket. We've seen cracks opening up and the sun baking down. They are going to be accentuated. That's one area that you've got to be careful about.
Yeah, the Zimbabwe batters will be looking at it very, very closely. It's just kept a bit low, slightly. But Shadman and Mominul been equal to the task in this weather. Also tough for Craig Irvine to keep going back to Blessing Muzrabani, who's really been the workhorse and the wicket taker for the side.
He'll also want to use his other pace bowler, Chirangarava, to do his bit. He's changed them around, given them requisite amounts of rests. That's cut away into the deep. There is a fielder coming around. They're going to take a couple of runs quite comfortably. And this comfortable feeling of the batters will be of concern to the bowling unit. To try and do something out of the ordinary, think out of the box. Not the easiest to do when the batters are seeing the ball well, not too much help off the track.
Nice pressure, nice pressure.
Zimbabwe skipper really needs to conjure up some magic from somewhere. Huge appeal there. Trying to sweep that one. But nothing doing from the umpire.
Some excitement, something positive, even though you don't get a positive response. It's every time you tend to beat the bad, just adds to the encouragement, because the way things are going, Zimbabwe are going to be in a very awkward position if they don't take another wicket. So every little bit helps in terms of giving you confidence and going forward. That is over. 154 for 1. After a while, Bangladeshi openers going past the 100 mark. That positive for Bangladesh. The normal Haq being brought in back. Done his job, is back in the hut. Got the experienced Mominul on strike now. 11 runs so far. But patient 31 deliveries that is faced. Changing his bowlers over. Richard Nangarava now given another stint. Firstly Medavere in the previous over. Second last ball of the previous over. Just a little interested. Possibly a little bit of glove as it glides down leg. Going down leg 2. Appeal, but you knew straight away maybe just angle and a bit of glove. Look of disappointment. Short rights that short-statured Mominul does well, even in short pitch deliveries. It does rear up and he can play it down. Rights the bounce pretty well.
Yeah, he loves this venue. There's something about this venue that seems to get the best out of Mominul. At times when you get to a place, then get to a city or a venue, then all the good things come back to you, and that's what seems to happen with Mominul. Looks very assured.
Or you might call him a local lad because he was born and played his cricket in Cox's Bazar, which is the beach resort not too far away. So the closest international arena when he was playing in his early days is, of course, this one.
I believe it's the world's longest beach. Have you been there quite often?
Yeah, often enough. Yeah, it is the longest unbroken sandy beach. So it extends right down to Teknaf to the south. And that's the road that Bangladesh want to take. The long road without losing too many wickets. Anything out of the ordinary, anything that gets the edge of the bat will excite the Zimbabweans. This is the encouragement they need. With the heat really working on their physical fitness, you need something to happen to them, because otherwise they'll be really having a tough job.
So the heat was the reason why Nicholas Welch retired yesterday, and from there on, floodgates opened.
Short arm, whipped around the corner, but finds the fielder in the deep, just the single. Also a question of bowling with accuracy, discipline. Look at this. Maybe the timing a little awry. Maybe that is why he didn't quite get it to the area he was aiming at. Oh, that's Toddy. I want to do that. Well done by the keeper, going across and stopping it. 156 for 1. The full 90 overs played out on the first day, which is wonderful. 227 runs, but the 9 Zimbabwean wickets have really pegged them back. Going to struggle now to recover from that lack of runs in the first innings. Trying to contain Bangladesh, who are going great guns at the moment. 156 for the loss of Anamal Haq Bijoy. Slip, lone person in catching position at the moment. Reverting to a more defensive field now, Craig Irvin.
He needs some magic here, much like what Bangladesh needed this time yesterday. Hoping to play on the mind of the batters, hoping to make them make some mistake, much like what Zimbabwe did at the same time yesterday, 24 hours ago. And we fielded there, but so far Centurion is keeping them at bay.
He's not taking any kind of risk at all, and the bowling has not been penetrative or very dangerous to handle. There's been nothing really to encourage them in terms of excessive turn and purchase off the track. But this is kind of effort, fielding effort that lifts the spirit of the bowlers. On a hot sunny day, you see one of your senior players going across, giving us 100%. Stop the ball. Waited, and then played it square. He wanted to play it a little finer than that.
It's 2 of this over thus far. This partnership's already worth 40. That's the kind of build-up that you need after that century partnership.
Again, short pitch delivery, could have done better.
Found the fielder. Ends the over. 158 for 1. So have a look at the session summary. 90 overs. First day dropped drastically the run rate from 4.01 in the first session today to 2.79. Bangladesh taking it easy, not really pressurized into trying to play the big shots. Comfortably placed, letting it just meander along.
Yeah, the run rate, the first session was really the big one, rollicking opening stand. Bringing in the changes now, the skipper, Wellington Masakadza, being brought back. But the opening partnership, that first session, the run rate of 4.01 really set the tone for this innings.
Bringing the changes, as he said, and that is what Craig Evans got to do. Can't allow the batters to get used to one particular bowler. Change of angles, change of turn from leg spinners to left-arm orthodox to pace bowlers. You will have Mominul playing on line with the full face of the bat. That is an area he's an expert in.
Yeah, if you see, really late, but more an excitement, nothing else. But yeah, if you see the field set also, right now, it's a bit of in-out field. It's trying to tempt the batter to make some mistakes here.
Yeah, when it's just a tad short, it's easy for the batter to rock back, use the depth. Talking about grip on the surface a couple of balls ago. A lot of revs on the ball, and it did bounce a little awkwardly, very close to the gloves there. Got the Zimbabweans excited a little bit. Just the angle bowling here to the left-handers is not really the right line to bowl from Masakadza. Just try and bring it in from outside off to the left-hander.
Good to see the pressure being put by Shadman to go for the second, despite the heat over there.
It's been a while. I hope that this is a consistent factor going forward. Short. He's got a hold of that. Easy pickings. He couldn't get a better gift.
It's afternoon time, and Mominul said, that's good enough for me. Thank you very much. Deposits it very, very well. Easy as it comes. Mominul rocks back. Really a pocket dynamo.
Sure is. Gets the Nexus Bay boundary with that shot. The bowlers under pressure, being forced into
quick single. Get it quite easily. Very good running. Very good calling, actually.
Actually, that has been noticeable right from the time Mominol came in. I think 2 or 3 balls into his innings, there was a similar situation when he called Shadman for a quick run, and there was that response. So that rapport, understanding between the two has been something to look out for. It's slapped away, but couldn't find the gap in the covers.
It's easy to pull your shutters down, play carefully, but it's important to keep an eye on the scoring as well. Need to be able to shut out Zimbabwe very swiftly in this innings.
Yeah, just making things a little easier now with regularity in rotation of the strike, as well as getting the big score in. So every time there is a boundary first ball, gives that leverage, that advantage to the batters to pick and choose for the remaining deliveries. And the comfortable situation they are in at the moment, it's not been very difficult to garner the runs. It's from the edge of the crease, almost cutting the crease there. Overdone, 167 for 1. Bangladesh slowly and gradually getting towards that first innings total by Zimbabwe, trailing by 60 runs. 49 runs this partnership of 93 balls. All goes well. They've looked comfortable, hardly been troubled by anything coming from the Zimbabwean bowlers. For Zimbabwe, tall task. Looking very difficult. We expected the ball to have a little more grip after what Tajul did yesterday and Mehdi Hasan Miraj in the afternoon. Hasn't been a pronounced change in the angle, degree of turn. Almost
Fairly well spread out field here. Craig Irvine is hoping against hope that Shadman or Mominul make a mistake here. That's what they need to play on. That's what Bangladesh did yesterday. Played on the nerves of the Zimbabwe batters and got rich rewards for that.
short again, and he's got all of that. Despairing effort, well, a good effort in the deep. Wow, what about that? That is sensational. That ball was traveling at a rate of knots.
Yes, that was the kind of effort that will lift aside Ben Karan. It's again a short delivery. Shadman equal to the task. What an effort by Ben Karan. Total commitment.
The 50 partnership has come up for this pair, Shadman and Mominul, but the sterling effort in the deep. Look at this, the ball was traveling. Look at that tumbling effort. Acrobatic to say the least. Terrific, shows the commitment. Good job, going across, stopping the ball on his follow through.
50-run stand between these two batters. Of 98 deliveries. Good follow-up to the opening stand.
Yes, indeed, catches the call. No one's going to catch that because it's going to go way over. And it's the first rocket six. Goes over the top. 174 for one. The first six of the innings in the previous over, last ball of the previous over, 21 fours. And this is the one. Really played so very easily. It just seemed to be easing into it. Got underneath that one, got the connection, got the power, and off it went.
He's a pocket dynamo. Just love the way he carries himself. Fantastic shot there. Pure elegance.
Run Bennett. Oh, that surprised the batter. Now that held its line. Not quite sure of the turn he's going to get. His replacing Wesley Medavere from the Dutch Bangla Bank end. Just quicker delivery, but still got a bit of grip. Short. Now you don't want to bowl short like that. You are going to be punished. And in the frame of mind and the form they are in, the sixes have started flowing now. Another rocket six.
This was yet another short delivery, and Shadman equal to the task. This is exactly how he bowled in the only over before lunch. It's been brought into the attack to give a break to the regular bowlers. Can't be bowling such gift deliveries.
And making things quite easy for the batters to negotiate now. Brian Bennett, Inamamweo did mention he would be one of the options in the spin bowling department. He's come in and has faced some wrath of Shadman Islam in particular. Crowd are happy, enjoying the powerful batting, smooth flow of runs, couple of sixes. Gives the ball some air, and that almost results in the ball creeping underneath, getting the inside part. Could have gone anywhere.
Just concentrate, young man. You've set yourself up nicely for a big one. Lucky break there for Shadman, but this is the kind of over, and these previous few overs, scoring rate has really picked up.
He's not afraid to give the ball some air. Bennett, on that occasion, a dot ball to finish the 49th. 1-8-1 for one.
Going for Bangladesh, especially for Shadman Islam. Partnership after that loss of Anamulak Bijoy's wicket at the score of 118. Remember, 118. That's what the openers put on. Since then, this partnership was also looking pretty good. With both the left-handers, especially Shadman Islam, stood out. He looked to be in good nick in that first test match in Sylhet also, when he got scores of 56 and 47 in those two innings. And he started where he left. What he has done here has gone and cashed in to pick up his second test match 100, on the way to pick up also 1,000 runs in test cricket. He looked very elegant indeed. Good afternoon, Tina Mawayo.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ali Khan. Yeah, it's been a tough day for the Zimbabwean bowlers. Second 100 for him. Gone past 1,000 runs in test match cricket as well. And at the moment, just manoeuvring his country into a position of great authority in this test match.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many deliveries like that, reaching him just outside the off stump. With that single, he's also now picked up his highest test match score, 116 now. And he's overtaken that 115 unbeaten against the same opposition, which came in Harare, Zimbabwe in the 2021. It's been a challenge for the Zimbabwean bowlers, especially when they're up against the likes of Shadman Islam. Just been too easy. He will retain the strike with that single. Bangladesh, 184 for 1. Now, when they picked up that wicket of Anamalak Vijoy, probably they would have had hopes of picking up another wicket. That hasn't happened because with Shadman Islam, Mominul Haq has also chipped in with 26 to ensure that they have a partnership in the making. 66 now, the partnership. Do you think they could have done anything different here in terms of the bowling department, Chino Momoya?
Yeah, well, I think the spinners could have been a little bit more accurate. In particular, just before the lunch break, I thought Westie Madea were a little bit expensive. Brian Bennett's 2.2 overs have gone for 15. That was the case after 2 overs. Now, what can happen is, because you've seen that it's taking turn, you can be desperate to try and get wickets when you come on as a spinner. But there just hasn't been the control, the deceptiveness from the Zimbabwean spinners that we've seen from the Bangladesh spinners yesterday. Brian Bennett, your Muslim Madevere are part-time spinners in this format of the game. You look at Wellington Masakata, who's played both test matches as the spinner, not really your attacking test match spinner. Nicely played. And then your attacking leg spinner is Vincent Masekisa, who's playing his first test match. So lacking in experience, certainly, these Zimbabwean spinners. $186 for 1.
Yeah, I think the other problem, which I think in terms of the line and length, that they conceded too many boundaries. 96 runs out of the total of 186 have come in boundaries. So even if you are bowling at good line and lengths, you got to do it on a consistent basis. And you can release the pressure by losing or by bowling loose deliveries. But that's exactly what has happened. Remember, a couple of sixes coming from the bat of Shadman and Mominul Haq. Have a look at that. Yeah, 208 dots, fine. But have a look at those number of fours and sixes. Maybe there goes another one right on the cue. So that has been the problem. Very good shot because they know exactly how this pitch is behaving. And when they see a length where they think they're in middle, look at that stride. It's a long stride, and this is for Mominul Haq. He hasn't been there for a long time, but he's batting pretty freely over the top, not afraid to go over the top of the fielder at mid-off and fetches him another boundary. Yeah, out of the 4 deliveries that he has bowled, 1 has gone for a boundary and 3 has been dots. So as a bowler, you've got to try and apply a little bit more pressure on a surface which is looking really good for batting. Well fielded. Shy the non-strikers and needed a direct hit. Direct hit would have been very, very close. 191 for 1. .36 now. Bangladesh trail by probably about 18 minutes before tea break here on day 2. They would have approached that deficit by probably another 16 or so runs. That's the final ball of the previous over. If that had hit direct, Mominul would have been in trouble, certainly. Yeah, nowhere near. Yeah, because the fact that he was playing that shot off the back foot, so it had gone deeper back in the crease. And he would have been done and dusted, directed. What was the bowler doing? Should be behind the stumps. Even the fielder behind him, no one backing up to be close to that stumps at the non-strikers end. That's Ali Khan. You were just asking earlier on what the Zimbabwean spinners could have done better so far in this bowling innings.
The other thing you need to remember is the lack of experience that the Zim spin department has got compared to Bangladesh. Take Taijul, Mahdi Hassan Miraj, Naeem. 463 wickets amongst them in 118 matches. Look at those that are bowling for Zimbabwe. Masakadza Madevere Bennett. With Masekes on debut and not a wicket yet. 21 wickets in 16 matches. So it really is learning on the job for a lot of these Zimbabwean spin options, which are not out and out. Although conditions still ideal. 193 for 1. Yeah, there it is. Wellington Masakadza in his 5 tests, 12 wickets. Westy Madevere in his 5 tests, 4 wickets. Brian Bennett in his 6 tests, 5 wickets, and all of those came in 1 innings. The one person who's there who could have done a job, Sean Williams, but still struggling.
Lovely looking shots, very strong on the offside. 34%. On the offside between cover and point, and also on the onside, square of the wicket between mid-on and square leg. What about those runs down the ground? 28% down the ground. It just shows that they bowled poorly in terms of lengths. 88% middled. 88%, that's a very high percentage in terms of middling the ball. That's why he's still batting on 119. Again, right from the middle part of the bat, but finds the fielder. I can understand the inexperience in terms of the spinners from Zimbabwe compared to the ones from Bangladesh. But if you look at that first test match, Tino Mawaya, the spinners did well on that spicy wicket. Wesley Madhuer. Only bowled 3 overs, picked up 2 for 2. Wellington Masakadza, 10 overs, 3 for 21 in that first innings. Even in the second innings, Wellington Masakadza picked up a couple of wickets, bowling 14 overs, picked up 2 for 20. So one would have imagined perhaps they could have bowled a little bit better, taking what they did in that first test match. Yes, it is a learning curve, but you need to learn quickly, and you need to start doing things better every time you come into the attack. Not easy, but you've got to try. It's gone only for a single in this over, so he has to finish off nicely here. That's what pressure does. In the air and gone, taken. Excellent. It's all about he controlled himself in the middle as a bowler. Only a single and then he takes the bait. Success.
Well, Mominul Haq will be livid with himself for this stroke. No need whatsoever. It's a slight top edge, yes, but no real need to be playing a slog sweep at this stage of the innings with a fielder back. Ben Curran's got very safe hands. Takes the catch while he's still running in. But a gifted wicket to Zimbabwe. 33 for Mominul Haq, it's 194 for 2.
And Nasrul Shanto is the new batter, the skipper. Looked to be in good touch in that first test match in Ceylon. Scores of 40 and 60. Would have been disappointed. He mentioned that it was due to the fact that he tried to play a shot when well set on 60 and got out. The second ball that he faced on that morning really let his team down. Interesting to see how he goes here, because this is a good surfer, but what an unnecessary shot attempted by Mominul Haq. Really no need to play that shot. Now then, loud appeal, given, first ball.
Yeah, Brian Bennett has the ability to do this. He's got a knack of breaking partnerships and getting wickets early in a spell. I think it's a good decision not to review that. Shadman Islam goes.
I just had a look back at the skipper, but it's the well-set Shadman Islam who has to head back. Now then, now they've picked up 2 in 2. Brian Bennett coming round the wicket. Just playing inside, and he's trying to flick that away. Looked pretty adjacent. And the umpire from Adar Masanan. Mushfiqur Rahim in the middle. That's his test career. More than 6,000 runs. Best of 219 and unbeaten 219. Got 3 double hundreds. 2 against Zimbabwe. He's here because of this.
Yeah, Shadman's just gone across the line of that one. Needed to just be going a little bit straighter. And that is plumb in front. Brian Bennett adds another to his test wicket column.
Mushfiqur Rahim gone through a lean patch. 12 innings without a score of 50. Have another look. Around the wicket. Does that angle carry on to miss the stumps? Umpire's call. Yep. Wouldn't matter even if they're taking the review because the umpire had given it in favor of the bowler.
Well, all of a sudden, two new batters at the crease for Bangladesh. Captain Shanto Mushfiqur Rahim. An opportunity here for Zimbabwe just to string in a few dots. Try and slow down that scoring rate. And just finish off what's been a good little half-hour session before tea.
There's only 5 minutes or so for tea. And that's one of the reasons why I felt that the shot that Momin ul Haq attempted, not a great one. That's the beauty of Test cricket. Two well set bats. And there's a good partnership in the making. One unbeaten on 120. And not only one, but they managed to pick up both the well set batters. They need to keep applying some pressure. He gets off the mark. All down the leg side, so easy pickings for Mushfiqur Rahim.
Recent form in Test cricket, not much to speak of. Mushfiqur Rahim. Nice score of 37 in Kanpur against India in 2024 in 12 innings. 4 and 4 in Sylhet. Coming into this test match, so he'll look to certainly correct that. 196 for 3.
Boys. 194 for 1, 296 for 3. Shadman, I thought was very good. Right, Masagaza picked up a wicket at the last ball of his previous over. Bangladesh still trailing by 31 runs. Right, two new batters in the middle. They'll certainly be not playing as freely as the ones we saw earlier on. That's why it's important to apply the pressure and have the fielders in the right place. I still feel that mid-on field is a little bit too deep. Just a gentle tickle down the leg side. He'll come back for the second.
A bit of turn on that one for Masakadza on that occasion, and so he's just ridden that nicely and closed the face on it. As Mullah saying, it'll be interesting to see his approach to the early part of this innings, because he was very aggressive in Sylhet at the beginning of both of his innings. He settled down on the second one, but his scoring rate was up at 100 until he was at about 40. Only slowed down thereafter. Now, of course, we're approaching tea now, probably one more over to go after this one, so he does get through to that tea break. It'll be good to see how he goes after.
They're going to have a few more fielders, close-in fielders at the catching position. There's probably then extra over, maybe another over before they go off for tea. So they only have one fielder at forward short leg. Get a slip in place, maybe a silly bit off. Apply a little bit more pressure.
I'm with you there, Tarali Khan. There's nothing to lose. A couple of overs or deliveries before the tea break, especially with two new men in. Let's put that little bit of extra pressure.
It's a good over. 198 for 3.
Anda pura.
Yeah, Bangladesh failed to pick up a wicket in the second session, but have a look at the second session in progress at the moment. Zimbabwe has picked up 3, all 3 wickets in this session. It's turning out to be a very good one for Zimbabwe. This third session, 7 wickets Bangladesh managed to pick. This is a little bit fuller, and he's put that away. And he's picked up a 6. And there's a rocket 6.
Confident stroke from Mushfiqur Rahim, and that's what you need. When you're a little bit shorter runs, don't second guess yourself. And I'd rather see the batsman do this with fielders up before a break, because if he gets it wrong, then there may be an opportunity.
Yeah, that came from the middle part of the bat and brings up the 200 for Bangladesh also. But this is the last over. You need to be a little bit more watchful to ensure that you don't lose a wicket here, Bangladesh. Tons of experience. Has been under this situation for so long. Again, use of the feet.
Yeah, something about Mushfiq, just a few deliveries I've seen today shows me that he's in a good mindset, nice and positive. Over the top, pushes the fielder back, uses his feet.
Now what he would want to do is stay unbeaten and come back and start all over again after the tea break. You don't want to see take any risk whatsoever. Right, he's off strike now. Pranto, the left-hander, the skipper, will be on strike. They've got 2 fielders in the catching position. Slip in plays, and also a fielder at forward short leg. Little bit wide, but finds the fielder. Last ball before tea. Nicely defended, and should be tea. It is. And what a session. Shadman Islam picking up his second test match 100 on the way, also going on to get past 1,000 runs in test cricket, but Zimbabwe has clawed back by not just picking up the wicket of Shadman Islam, but they also managed to pick up 2 more of Bijoy and more importantly Mominul Haq. It has been a good one. It's a good comeback from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I think those couple of wickets at the end of that session just evening it out between the 2 teams. 31 up. Stuck in the crease. Shadman really went on to play some glorious strokes. Very strong through the offside to both the seamers and the spinners. Really did show the class that we've seen in his career prior.
He did play some glorious shots, did he? Momin Haq also looked apart. A couple of times, opportunities to pick up sixes, and that's the one.